Good morning. I'm the Reverend Tom Rosiello, minister of this fellowship, and it is a joy to welcome you to our service, either in person or on Zoom. If you're a visitor, we want to extend a very special welcome, and if you're here at the Allende, we'd love for you to stand now so that we can recognize you, so that we can greet you after the service. Any visitors that would be willing to be recognized today? Wow. If you're visiting on Zoom, we want you to know that you too are most welcome. And please type your name and where you're from into the chat so we can welcome you after the service on Zoom. As we do at every service, we enter into our sacred time by lighting a flame. The flaming chalice is a symbol of our faith, and in lighting it, we mark this time as a time when we connect with each other in a deeper way and connect with the best in ourselves. A time when we set aside the noise and busyness of our week and slow down so that we may feel the presence of the sustaining spirit of life and love. In this hour, we welcome new thoughts, new ideas, and inspiration to help us live a better life. That beautiful Shaker hymn that we just heard as a prelude reminds us that prayer is something universal. In that hymn, the Shakers describe an ever-widening circle, sort of like a meditation, from mothers and fathers to brothers and sisters, and ultimately to the whole world. Also, in another sense, prayer is universal in that pretty much some form of prayer is part of almost every faith tradition. In today's service, we will focus on the practice of prayer and what that might look like in a Unitarian Universalist context. Now, we're not a faith with a lot of formal prayers that we recite together, but there's a particular hymn that we cherish that's very much a prayer in song. In Spanish, it's Fuente de Amor, fountain of love. In English, it's Spirit of Life. The English words and music are found at 123 in the hymnal, and the Spanish words are pasted in the front of many of the hymnals. But needn't worry about all the changes. All the words will appear on the screen, and we would invite you to rise in body or spirit, join in singing, and remain standing for our covenant, which will be led this morning by George and Hillary.
respect the interdependent web of life and work for a just and peaceful world. We encourage the search for truth and meaning, strive for compassion in our relationships, and seek values that will benefit our lives and the lives of others. This is our covenant.
Respetamos todos los estilos de vida dentro de su red interdependiente y trabajamos por un mundo justo y pacífico. Alentamos la búsqueda de la verdad y la comprensión total. Nos esforzamos por mantener compasión en nuestras relaciones y buscamos valores que beneficien nuestras vidas y las vidas de los demás. Este es nuestro convenio.
Please be seated. We now have our message for all ages. We don't have quite as many children as we usually do because I understand flu has hit the schools. So my two granddaughters are out and several others are.
Yeah.
But we call it a message for all ages for a reason. So Ann and I, please join me.
All righty.
Today our service is about prayer. And there are lots of kinds of prayer. Even right here in our UU Fellowship, people have different ideas about what it is. There's no right or wrong way to pray, and you don't have to use any special words or kneel down or even fold your hands like this. Why, you can pray while drawing a picture or while giving someone a hug.
All right. Hoy nuestro servicio trata de la oración y hay muchos tipos de oración. Incluso aquí en nuestra comunidad UU, las personas tienen diferentes ideas sobre lo que es. No hay una forma correcta o incorrecta de hacerlo y no es necesario utilizar palabras especiales, ponerte de rodillas o incluso juntar las manos así. Puedes rezar mientras dibujas o cuando abrazas a alguien.
Some people think of prayer as talking to God. For others, it's listening to what's going on inside you, in your heart. But it's not just about listening. It's also about doing something with what's in your thoughts and in your heart. Maybe it's saying thank you for the good things. Maybe it's asking for help for someone who's sick or sad. Maybe it's sending them thoughts of healing and love.
Algunas personas piensan que rezar es hablar con Dios. Para otros es escuchar lo que ocurre dentro de ti, en tu corazón. Pero no se trata solo de escuchar. También se trata de hacer algo con lo que hay en tus pensamientos. Quizás sea dar las gracias por las cosas buenas. Quizás sea pedir ayuda para alguien que está enfermo o triste. Quizás sea enviarles pensamientos de sanación y amor.
So this week, maybe you can try prayer. Think about one good thing and say inside yourself, thank you. Think of one person who needs some love because they're sick or lonely and send it to them with your mind. Think about one person who's sad and how you can be kind to them and make them feel better. Yep, those are all prayers. I hope you'll give it a try. If you do, I bet you'll feel good. And maybe your prayers will help other people feel better too.
Así que esta semana quizás puedes intentar rezar. Piensa en algo bueno y dar agradecimiento en tu interior. Piensa en una persona que necesite amor porque está enferma o se siente sola y envíale ese amor con tu mente. Piensa en una persona que esté triste y en cómo puedes ser amable con ella y hacerla sentir mejor. Todo eso son oraciones. Espero que lo intentes. Si lo haces, apuesto a que te sentirás bien y tal vez también ayudes a otras personas a sentirse mejor.
And now our children will light their lantern from our chalice flame and head off for their morning activities. And please join in singing them on their way. The words will appear on the screen. We're a caring community, and we want you to know if you ever need the help of a minister or of our care team, you can contact us. You can find out how to reach us on our website. Just go on there and you'll see an email, and please don't hesitate to do so. Each week, we share significant joys, sorrows, and concerns of our members and friends with the hope that in doing so, our hearts are open and we can help each other and reach out to each other. In the Talmud, it says that when you share a joy, the pleasure is doubled, and when you share a sorrow, the pain is cut in half. May that be so for our congregation. Now, for each joy, sorrow, or concern, we light a candle indicating that that person or that thought or that prayer is held in our hearts this morning. If you wish to have a joy, sorrow, or concern shared in an upcoming service, you can email it to me. If you're going to be at the service, you can write it on a card, and one of the ushers will provide that to you when you enter. And if you're on Zoom this morning, you can type it into Zoom, and Miguel Ángel will let me know if any come in this morning. Thank you, Miguel. We have some joys to start out with. First joy is yesterday was George's birthday. So happy birthday, George. But George, I have a special birthday message for you from Lynn. She asked me to share it with you here. Happy birthday, George. I hope today brings you as much kindness as you give to others. I'll always be deeply grateful for the care, patience, and compassion you showed me when I was ill. Your support means more than I can ever fully express. Thank you for being there for me. Next year, we'll celebrate our birthdays together. Love, Lynn. I think we have another birthday. Caller, I believe it's your birthday. I just saw you come in. Is that true? Yes. Okay, so another joy. We have a concern. I have learned that Maxine Arnold had gone to the hospital. I believe she had another hip replacement, and I believe she's home now. I haven't been able to confirm that. But let's light a candle for Maxine and for a full and complete recovery. I'd like to light a candle of sorrow. Many of you remember the Reverend Meg Barnhouse, who was our guest minister on a couple of occasions here. She passed away last week, and we want to extend sympathy to her wife, Kaya. We just learned yesterday that Clarissa Adi's son, Alex, passed away. He passed away of a heart attack. We light a candle of sympathy and great support for her. She's gone to Mexico City to deal with the arrangements. I don't know the other details, but she would be glad, she said, to receive emails and not calls, emails of support at this point. So if you know Clarissa, please send her a note. It's a great loss. We light a candle for Jim Harper and Betsy Davies. They're temporarily at Los Labradores, where Jim is recovering from a stroke. Yesterday he fell in the shower, so please send them your well wishes. Another candle of great concern for the continuing ICE and Border Patrol violence in Minneapolis and elsewhere in the United States. That candle is also in support of the many, including the large group of clergy, many of them Unitarian Universalist ministers, who answered the call this week to go to Minneapolis and to protest and bear witness to this horrible violation. It's truly a horrible violation of people's civil rights. We have two large candles that we light each week. The first is our peace candle, and it is for peace everywhere in the world. We hold all those who are killed, injured, or displaced by wars, the loved ones who lost family and friends, wherever those wars take place. And we pray for peace in the Middle East, where food and medical supplies reaching those who are suffering. We pray for an end to the war in Ukraine with a fair and just peace. We also pray for an end to the war in the Sudan, the conflicts in Africa and Asia. And finally, we pray that war will not erupt in Venezuela. We light our Mexican candle now. This is a practice we started because many here wanted to express their gratitude to this country for their welcome and their hospitality. But we also light it as a candle of concern again this week for the many Mexicans who endure harsh treatment and unjust treatment in the United States, as well as immigrants from other places. Do we have any? We do, okay. Let me see if I can find those. Oh, boy. Dan Newspiel writes, thinking of Alex Jeffrey Pretty and the dozens of others murdered in custody by ICE and the Border Patrol Gestapo thugs. Kirsten writes, and it's a very long, I'm just going to summarize, that she writes that she and her mother are struggling and she's looking for support. We have a couple of dittos of what Dan said. And we light a final candle for all those joys, sorrows, and concerns which are held deep in our hearts but remain unspoken this morning. I now invite you into a time of prayer or reflection, spirit of community, in which we share and find strength and common purpose. We turn our minds and hearts to one another, seeking to bring into our circle all who need our love and support, those who are ill in body or spirit, those who are lonely, those who have been wronged. We renew our commitment to justice, fairness, and compassion for all people. We acknowledge that we're part of the web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. May this time of sharing joy, sorrows, and concerns lead us to a better understanding of our community and the precious gifts that we possess that enable us to minister to each other and strengthen us in our resolve to live the values and principles of our faith. As we have some music by which we can meditate, I invite those of you who would like to come forward and light a silent candle. Each Sunday, a significant portion of our congregation attends our service via Zoom. And when we can, we invite some of them to participate by sharing a reading, or words for lighting our chalice, or leading some other part of the service. And in doing so, we remind ourselves that we are all one community. Today, Cathy Cánepa, coming to us from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, will share 2 readings about prayer, and in between them, you'll hear a duet from the opera Hansel and Gretel by Engelbert Humperdinck. It's a beautiful, peaceful prayer that speaks of 14 angels watching over the children, guarding them and keeping them safe through the night.
Praying by Mary Oliver. It doesn't have to be a blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention. Then patch a few words together and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but a doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. Good morning. I'm Cathy Cánepa, co-chair of our Sunday Service Committee. And these are the words of the late A. Powell Davies. Many people have discarded prayer because they think it must be petitionary, which they regard, I think correctly, as childish. But the prayers of the saints rose beyond this. They called it meditation, and a further stage, contemplation. For ourselves, we may wish to call it inner discourse or reflection at the highest level we are capable of. It is rash indeed to be disdainful of this discipline. Day after day, we look at life through petty hopes and fears, and often through our prejudices. Should there not be a time each day for looking at it from a higher level? To me, the best time of day is the end of day, and that might be the time, I think, for many people to look back over the day and judge it. Judge it at first severely. The things we said, the truths we didn't speak, the wasted moments of resentment and foolish pride, the fear we did not cast out, and the fretful aims that possessed us, the same aims that have always disappointed us. Let these and all else that need it be severely judged. And then let us see what there was for good in the day and how we could have kept on friendlier terms with the world and ourselves. Whether we turn this thinking toward God or just meditate in our own hearts, this is prayer, and the power of God is in it. There is a sort of duality in each of us, a discussion within our innermost thoughts. The nobler voice will be said by some of us, myself included, to be the voice of God. Not literally, of course, but in source and spiritual vitality. Others of us will call it our better nature. But no matter what it be called, its presence is a firm reality. We cultivate our inner lives and thereby raise the quality of our living by giving definite times to such discipline. And to the extent that we see the world more clearly and ourselves and our part in it more plainly, we gain wisdom and sureness of direction. And this, in turn, relieves the tensions that the world imposes on us, much of which is due to vacillation and uncertainty, and brings us closer to serenity.
Before we sing our hymn, I just want to point out for some of you who may have come in that there are translations of the reading and also the sermon which I'm about to give. Tom has them in the back. If anyone would like one, just raise your hand. Traducción para español, sermone. Su mano, allí. Okay. And now I invite you to rise as you're able. Join in singing hymn number 90 in the hymnal, From All the Fret and Fever of the Day. It also, the words will appear on the screen. Please be seated. Well, if I were to ask you the question right now, do you pray? What would you say? Don't worry, I'm not going to put anyone on the spot. But if I did, I'm sure that I'd get a variety of answers. Some would say, no, prayer is not something I do. It's not something that fits within my Unitarian Universalist faith. I work for justice. I help other people. I don't believe prayer does any good. Others would say they pray regularly, and they experience a profound relationship with God, or whatever name they give to the great spirit of love and life. They tell you that they need to pray, and that they and others benefit from this prayer. They tell you that they often experience that their prayers are answered. Now, I suspect that most Unitarian Universalists would say something like, I sort of pray. I hold the concerns of others in my heart. At times, particularly difficult times, I seek inner strength and courage. Sometimes I examine my life and resolve to change things. Sometimes I even pause to give thanks for the many blessings I experience. But I'm not really sure that I pray. Many are uneasy with the word prayer. It conjures up ideas of the recitation of words that are inconsistent with our beliefs. The practice of prayer may even seem hypocritical to some. Now, right here in this room, I sometimes feel the tension between an uneasiness with prayer and a real desire for prayer. I notice each week when people submit joy, sorrows, and concerns, they often negotiate what they write around the word prayer. We ask each other to hold a serious ill person in our thoughts, or send positive energy for someone who's got upcoming surgery. For some folks do use the word prayer, but I sometimes detect they're almost embarrassed to do so, perhaps fearing that others will think them silly or naive. Now, prayer is an integral part of so many religious traditions. Muslims who stop 5 times a day for prayer, the devout Jew who offers a blessing for every event in life, the cloistered monks or nuns who gather as a community every 4 hours, 24 hours a day to pray. For them, it's just a regular part of the daily cycle. For others, it's something they only turn to in difficult times. When I served as a hospital chaplain, I visited patients from many different religious traditions. For most, the expectation was that I would offer a prayer for them or pray with them. When I entered a hospital room, I tried to figure out what was the patient's religious tradition. Sometimes it was given in the information on my morning list of people to visit, but many times not. And if they called me Father, it was a dead giveaway. And yes, I said many Hail Marys and Our Fathers. And if they were Episcopalian, I recited a formal and flowery prayer for healing from the Book of Common Prayer. And if they were Baptist, we let the Spirit guide us and improvised together. But it was never easy to determine just what to do when you visited a Unitarian Universalist. I remember visiting one man who, once I introduced myself as the chaplain, immediately said, "Glad you came by, but there's no need to pray. I'm a Unitarian." Well, I guess we didn't pray, at least not formally. In fact, as I remember it, and you'll love this, we talked a lot about the politics in his church. But with later visits, we talked about his family, and then about his fear of his illness, which was going to restrict what he could do, and his hope for more good years, where he was not going to be a burden to his family. And although I never recited a prayer or dared label anything a prayer, I'm not at all sure that we were not praying. But whether we were or not, what has always stuck with me are his words spoken, at least with this mask of being upbeat and confident. There's no need to pray. I'm a Unitarian. My experience is that is just not true. I believe that we need to pray just as much as anyone else does, and we need for others to include us in their prayer. I believe that we all need prayer regardless of whether we believe in a God or we do not. The experience of prayer is open to everyone, regardless of your theology. Humanist Roger Cowan put it this way: in a desperate moment, I cried out for help, and I was answered. Some years later, I'm still a humanist, yet I'm a humanist who prays, who begins each morning with devotional reading and a time of silence and prayer. Why do I do this? I need a quiet time. I need to express my gratitude. I need humility. I pray because alone I'm not enough, and also I'm too much. I express gratitude for the gift of aliveness. I assert my oneness with you and all humankind and all creatures. We're so concerned about first knowing with whom we are to engage, or if there is a whom with which to engage, that it prevents us from simply embracing the experience of prayer. Our assumption about what God is or is not, our uncertainty about what, if any, sacred force there is in the universe, our assumption about what ideas we would first have to accept in order to pray, cause us to reject prayer. But to pray is just to commit to a simple practice, not to a set of beliefs. And it's often in the practice that you come to better know your beliefs and connect with the sacred. But that's not the starting point. For me, it's a practice of prayer that keeps me on track to the extent that I stay on track. It's what allows me to hold the sorrow and grief of others, and what keeps me from being overwhelmed by the task of being a minister. It allows me to let go of the petty and the hurtful and see the positive and very difficult people. Of recent, it has allowed me to put my own health challenges in perspective and to let go of some of the anxiety about them and proceed in a positive and hopeful direction. It's in prayer that I find courage to do the work of justice and to face my own challenges. I try to spend some time every morning in prayer. For me, that's a time of spiritual reading and reflection on the day just passed and the possibility of the new day. I might read a passage from Scripture or poetry that reminds me of what I need to get me through the day. And then I pray. At times I feel as if I'm just speaking with myself, but as I listen, I feel a connection to something greater. I feel a connection with those for whom I pray. Not always, but some of the time. I reflect a lot on you in my prayers. Each week when I begin the sermon writing process, and on Sunday, just before I deliver the sermon, in that little space after the hymn and before I begin to speak, I pray the ancient words of Psalm 19. It's often called the preacher's prayer. It goes, "May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O God, my rock and my redeemer." Now, I don't really mean them literally. To me, the words mean, may I say the right thing. The truth is best I understand it. Let my motivations behind every sermon be the highest. Let me be responsible with my words, but also challenging. Let me find the things that connect with the congregation, but never say things just that will please the crowd and find easy acceptance. To be acceptable in God's sight means to me to preach a sermon that ministers, that challenges, that lifts people to a better place and gives them some little thing to take with them for their week. When I say those words, it reminds me that this is not a theological essay, it is not a political speech, but it's my best effort to bring you a message of justice and love and hope and healing that can resonate in your heart. So when I say that ancient prayer, I see your faces, and it helps me to write. And I believe this prayer makes a difference in what I preach. Now, when I was discussing this idea of prayer at other UU congregations, I received many different reactions. In one conversation with a member of another UU church, he said to me, "Look, I don't believe in any God. For me, prayer would be like talking to myself." And my response to him was, a good conversation with yourself, where you really contemplate your concerns, your fears, your joys, sounds a lot like prayer to me. And actually, it fits within our own Ralph Waldo Emerson's definition of prayer. Emerson wrote, "Prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view." Let me repeat it. Prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. You know, there are so many ways to describe prayer. One that I like and heard a colleague say recently is that prayer is meeting the world with love. Elie Wiesel put it this way: when words bring you closer to the prisoner in his cell, to the patient who's dying in his bed alone, to the starving child, that is prayer. His point is, prayer is a way of connecting. It may be with the oppressed, the downtrodden. It may be with God or with a spiritual force in the universe or the best part of your own nature. In prayer, we build an honest, private relationship from which we draw strength and courage and understanding. That relationship may be one that we view as being totally within ourselves, or it may be one that is viewed as with God or with the spirit of life, or it may be with other people too. I believe that there are real benefits to ourselves and to the world from a prayer practice. On the cover of your order of service is a quotation from Tennyson, who wrote, "More things are wrought by prayer than the world dreams of." I think there are many levels of truth in this statement. Now, there are medical studies that suggest that serious ill people who have many people praying for them have a greater chance of recovery, even when the patient doesn't know she is being prayed for. Maybe, but certainly when they do. In my own experience in a hospital room with the very sick, prayers with them and their family help many people. When people turn to prayer in difficult times, often there is what at least appears to be an answer. I can't tell you that prayer changes God's plan for the world, if such a thing exists, but I'm certain that engaging in the practice of prayer changes the people praying, and often the people prayed for in some profound way. Many turn to prayer in crisis and fail to give it even a thought in the daily routine of life, and I think that's too bad. For me, one of the most important functions of prayer is self-examination of the day-to-day existence. And that's certainly what A. Paul Davies was speaking about in the reading Cathy shared with us earlier. Repeating his words day after day, we look at life through petty hopes and fears and often our prejudices. Should there not be a time each day for looking at it from a higher level? And in the words of that hymn we just sang, from all the fret and fever of the day, let there be moments when we turn away, and deaf to all the confusing outer din, intently listen to the voice within. Making that time is what I'm commending to you. Maybe just 10 minutes a day. Paula suggests one do it in the evening, but for me, the morning's best. I relate to these words from C.S. Lewis, who wrote, "The moment you wake up each morning, all your wishes and hopes for the day rush in you like wild animals. And the first job each morning consists in shoving it all back and listening to that other voice, taking that other point of view, letting the other stronger, quieter life come flowing in." Not long ago, someone said to me, "I really want to pray, but I just don't know how to pray." So to them, I'd share that advice from the Mary Oliver poem. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together. And don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. But there is also another prayer practice that I would also commend to you. I invite you to find a prayer that speaks to you, words that you can make part of your life, words that you can read or recite from memory, poetry, scripture, whatever. Words that calm your soul or give you strength or courage. Words that you make part of yourself so they're there when you need them. Many years ago, I was asked to do a memorial service for a wonderful man from the community who had been very involved with AA, sponsored, I don't know, hundreds of people in AA. His family had just one request for the service. They wanted me to read the Serenity Prayer, which is attributed to Reinhold Niebuhr and is so much a part of AA. Of course I did. And as I started just to read it myself, there was a groundswell of people who also knew it by heart and were citing it. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It was such a powerful moment. Most of those people, I believe, were probably part of AA and had battled with addiction. And I felt in that moment the power that that prayer had had for them in their lives. Sometimes we just need beautiful words of others to pray. Maybe a poem, a Bible verse, maybe a hymn. We began our service with a hymn which for many Unitarian Universalists is their prayer, Spirit of Life. For me, there are many such hymns, and as Paula can tell you, I am a hymn junkie. One is a lesser-known hymn in our hymnal, which really captures the essence of what I pray for every day. It's hymn number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. So I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and do I dare say pray in song with me to conclude this sermon. The words will also appear on the screen.
We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space, love, and social justice. We give with the faith that together we have enough. You are invited to give generously as you are willing and able. Your offering will be gratefully received. Wow, that's a tough act to follow. As soon as the service is over, a few of our members and greeters will help gather some chairs for those who would like to meet others, or just sit down if you find it hard to stand for a long time. Reverend Tom and others will join you today, and we hope that this can become a regular way that we encourage more mingling. Feel free to form a small circle of chairs on your own if you like, in one of the corners where you might find it a bit quieter. We hope many of you will join us after our service today, beginning at noon in the back room to hear a presentation by Dr. Maria Acosta. Just bring your coffee or tea and join us. Dr. Acosta is a frequent choice by expats for her specialty as a geriatrician, her English-Spanish fluency, and for her friendly and open chairside manner. Our next Circle Cena will be Monday, January 26th at 5 p.m. It's a semi-regular gathering at La Frontera restaurant on a Monday when they open just for us. The buffet menu will be lasagna, both meat and vegetarian, with salad, punch, and dessert, all for 250 pesos. All UUs and their friends are invited. This is a great opportunity to connect with other UUs and to make new friends. Reserve directly with La Frontera by phone or by email. Information is on their Facebook page or on the internet at La Frontera Restaurant. During the week, come to our Thursday lunch and games event in San Miguel and join Tom's Tuesday coffee hour on Zoom. Check your order of service. We do record our Sunday in-person services. You can find a link to these on our website, UUFSMA.org. And finally, the UU Men's Discussion Group number 2 will meet this coming Friday, January 30th, 1 p.m. at La Frontera Restaurant in San Antonio. Any questions or to be added to our WhatsApp chat group, you can speak today to Tom Rosiello after the service. Is Tom here? Could you stand up? Okay. And while you're on the website, please check out various events sponsored by the fellowship and information on how to become a member.
Thank you all for being with us today. And Dr. Acosta, are you here? Let's see, where are you? Yes, she already went back to set up. So I believe she's here with her parents. I just really wanted to welcome her formally. And Dr. Acosta, I just wanted to welcome you to our congregation and remind people it's a really treat to go and hear her, which she has a wonderful presentation. It started about noon. And thank you all for being with us. I hope you'll join us again next week. Remember, next week is our uniquely Unitarian Universalist ritual of flower communion. We coincided to go with Candelaria, which is celebrated in Mexico with flowers. So please join us, and please bring a flower, okay? Don't forget your flower. After the postlude, I invite you to, as you've heard, as George has already said, to share, but to go back to Dr. Acosta around noontime if you're interested. And now we end our service with a benediction, which are good words to carry with us for our week ahead. May the love which overcomes all differences, heals all wounds, puts to flight all fears, reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us this day and forevermore. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. Those we carry with us until we meet again.